Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to see a grammar chapter from your English textbook, A Reporter's Speech. When do we use a reporter's speech? Sometimes someone says a sentence. For example, I'm going to the cinema tonight. Later, maybe we want to tell someone else what the first person said. Here is how it works. We use a reporting verb like say or tell. If this verb is in the present tense, it's easy. We just put that she says and then the sentence. For example, in the direct speech, I like ice cream, and when it's getting reported, it would be she says she likes ice cream. We don't need to change the tense, so probably we do need to change the person from I to she. For example, we also may need to change words like my and your. On the other hand, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, then usually we change the tenses in the reported speech. Same example, if you take in the direct speech, I like ice cream. In the reported speech, it will come begin. She said she liked ice cream. Now, we're going to see the tense with the direct speech when it converts into the reported speech. Now, for example, if it is in the simple present tense form, I like ice cream. And it come to the reporter speech, it would be like she said that can be optional. She said she liked ice cream, or she said that she liked ice cream. Now, if we go into the present continuous tense, for example, in the direct speech, I am living in London. In the reporter speech, it would be like she said she was living in London. Now, if it is a simple past tense, I bought a car, and when it is reported, we can have two options there. She said she had bought a car, or she said she bought a car. Very simple statements as like. Now, when we move to the past continuous tense, I was walking along the street, and when it is being reported in the reporter speech, or when it is getting reported, she said she had been walking along the street. That means the change happening was walking changed to had been walking. Now, when it's in the present perfect, I haven't seen Julie. Haven't. It is turned to she said she hadn't seen Julie. That means haven't seen Julie turns to hadn't seen. Now, if it is in the past perfect, if I say or she say, I had taken English lessons before, and the reporter speech would be she said she had taken lessons before. That means had taken turns to without change, like she had taken. Now, if it is the modal auxiliary, sorry, the auxiliary will comes there. I will see you later. It turns to the she said she would see me later. If it is the would statement, I would help, but she said she would help, but for example, I can speak perfect English. She said she could speak perfect English. Now, the could. I could swim when I was 4. She said she could swim when she was 4. If it is a shall in the tense, I should come later. She said she would come later. Now, should if it is, I should call my mother. She said she could call her mother. If it is next one is might, I might be late. She said she might be late. And if it is a must, I must study at the weekend. Then you can have two options also. She said she must study at the weekend. Oh, then one more is there. She said she had to study at the weekend. Now, occasionally, we don't need to change the present tense into the past if the information direct speech is still true. But this is only for things which are general facts, and even then, usually we like to change the tense. For example, if it is in the direct speech, the sky is blue, and when it is being converted into the reporter speech, she said that the sky is or was blue. Now, if it is a reported questions, how it would be? So now you have no problem with making a reporter speech from positive and negative sentences. Now we have seen that one. But how about questions if it is the direct speech? Where do you live? Now, how can we make the reporter speech here? In fact, it's not so different from the reported statements. The changes are the same, and we keep the question word. The tense changes are the same, and we keep the question word. Important things to be remembered. The very important thing though is that once we tell the question to someone else, it is not a question anymore. So we need to change the grammar into a normal positive sentence. So what will be the answer? The reporter speech for this question. She asked me where I lived. So now that's it. Do you see how I made it? The direct question is in the simple present tense. We make a simple present question with the do or does, so I need to take that away. Then I need to change the verb to the past tense. Another simple example, if it is in the direct speech, where is Julie? If it is next one is the reporter speech, you can see the she asked me where Julie was. Now, the direct question is in the simple present of be form, the auxiliary form. We make the question form of the simple present of be by inverting or changing the position of the subject and the verb. So we need to change them back before putting the verb into the simple past tense. Here I think we can see some examples. Now, yeah, the question form in the direct speech and Danny's answer in the reported one. If it was, where is the post office, please? She asked me where the post office was. What are you doing? She asked me what I was doing. Who was that fantastic man? She asked me who that fantastic man had been. So now these are the direct question from the direct to the reporter speech. Now, so much of WH questions, but what if you need to report a yes or no question? We don't have question words to help us. Instead, we use the if form. I hope you students might understood that one. We have seen that with the questions with the WH words. Now, if you don't have a WH word, suppose if the question form it is the answer will be in the yes or no question. How did the report speech will be added with the if form? Now, for example, do you like chocolate? And what will be the reporter speech? She asked me if I like the chocolate. Now, here are a few more examples which you can understand it better. Now, do you love me? He asked me if I loved him. Have you ever been to Mexico? She asked me if I had ever been to Mexico. Are you living here? She asked me if I was living here. Now, now we move to the reporter request, the request form in the reporter speech. Now, what if someone asks you to do something in a most polite way? For example, close the window, please. Please close the window. Not that casually we used to say or in a request form. Now, what will be the format of the reporter speech? Could you close the window, please? Or would you mind closing the window, please? So, very most polite format of this one. All of these questions mean the same thing. So, we don't need to report every word when we tell another person about it. We simply use ask me to we simply use ask me plus to plus infinitive. So these questions when being converted in the reporter speech, what was the one? She asked me to close the window. Very simple. She asked me to close the window. Now you can have some examples even. Yeah, a few more examples here there. Yeah, first one. Please help me. She asked me to help her. Please don't smoke. She asked me not to smoke. Could you bring my book tonight? She asked me to bring her book that night. Could you pass the milk, please? She asked me to pass the milk. Would you mind coming early tomorrow? She asked me to come early the next day. Now, if it is a negative statement or if the direct speech is in the negative format, to report a negative request, use not. In the direct speech, it will be please don't be late. And if it is in the reporter speech, it will be she asked us not to be late. She asked us not to be late. Please don't be late. She asked us not to be late. Now after the reporting a request, even if you move to the report orders, and finally, how about if someone does not ask so politely? We can call this an order in English. When someone tells you very directly to do something, for example, sit down. In fact, we make this into reporter speech in the same way as a request. We use tell instead of ask. In the reporter speech, if it will be, she told me to sit down. Sit down. She told me to sit down. And here are a few more examples too. Yeah, go to bed. He told the child to go to bed. Don't worry. He told her not to worry. Be on time. He told me to be on time. Don't smoke. He told us not to smoke. Now we move to the time expressions with the reported speech. If I tell someone on Monday, I say, Julie said she was leaving today. If I tell someone Tuesday, I say, Julie said she was leaving yesterday. If someone tells some, if I tell someone on Wednesday, I say, Julie said she was leaving on Monday. If I tell a month later, I say Julie said was leaving that day. So there is no easy conversion. You really have to think about when the direct speech was said. Now, here's a table of the possible conversions which is going to have which can be used in the direct from direct to the reporter speech. Now can be used with the then or at that time. Today as yesterday, that day, Tuesday, thus 27th of June. It can be yesterday, the day before yesterday, the day before. It can be Wednesday, the 5th of December, and so on. The last night, the night before, or Thursday night last week. The week can be turned to before or the previous week. Tomorrow, today, the next day, the following day of Friday. So I hope students you have understood in the reporter's speech. Thank you.